She was the kind of woman cities remembered long after she passed through them. Wherever she went, conversations slowed, glasses paused midair, and men forgot the endings of their sentences. She moved with a deliberate grace, hips swaying like a promise, skin glowing as though light itself was loyal to her. Newspapers called her the Sapphire Heiress, a woman of impossible wealth, owner of coastal hotels, shipping companies, and a private island no one had ever visited. Every man wanted her hand. Every woman wanted her life. And no one knew what she truly was. Not even the men who died because of her. The first body was found floating near the marina, face peaceful, eyes wide open, lips curved in a faint smile. The autopsy revealed something strange, lungs filled with seawater, yet no signs of struggle. No defensive wounds. No panic. Just surrender. Detective Derek Mensah had seen drownings before. This wasn't one of them. Then another man was found. Same expression. Same waterlogged lungs. Same eerie calm. Both men had been seen the night before at a charity gala, laughing at her side, drinks in hand, eyes shining with hope. Her name was Evelyn Say. Derek met her 2 days later. She wore black silk, mourning attire that somehow looked celebratory on her. Her voice was low, melodic, and it seemed to pull his attention toward her the way tides pull ships. When she spoke about the dead men, her eyes shimmered, not with tears, but with something deeper, older. "I hate the sea," she said softly. "It takes so much from me." Derek didn't believe her, but he couldn't stop listening. As the bodies piled up, 5 men in 3 weeks, the pattern sharpened. Each had been wealthy. Each had pursued Evelyn romantically. Each had disappeared after being alone with her near water. Still, there was no evidence. No witnesses. No motive anyone could prove. Until Derek followed her. One night, he tracked her to the edge of the city, to a forgotten stretch of cliffs where the ocean roared violently below. Moonlight spilled across the waves like silver blood. He watched from the shadows as she stood at the edge, wind tearing at her dress. And then she stepped forward. She didn't fall. Her body changed, bones bending impossibly, legs fusing into a powerful, iridescent tail that caught the moonlight in flashes of green and blue. Her skin gleamed like polished pearl. The sea surged upward, welcoming her. Derek staggered back, heart pounding, mind screaming for logic. Mermaid. The word sounded absurd. Impossible. Yet there she was. He should have run. Instead, he confronted her the next night. "You're killing them," he said, gun shaking in his hand. "All of them." She didn't deny it. "They were already predators," Evelyn replied calmly. "They wanted to own me, cage me, sell my body to their friends and call it marriage. You drowned them." "No," she corrected gently. "I sang to them, and they followed." Derek's stomach turned. "Why the wealth? Why the lies?" "Because humans only listen when you shine," she said. "And because the sea taught me something long ago, power is the only language men respect." She stepped closer. The air thickened, humming softly. He felt warmth in his chest, a pull toward her, toward the ocean behind her. "Arrest me if you must," she whispered. "But you won't." He knew she was right. The case was closed as an unsolved series of accidents. Derek resigned weeks later, unable to sleep, unable to forget the sound of her voice echoing in his dreams like waves in a shell. Years passed. Evelyn vanished from society. Her hotels were sold. Her name faded into rumor. And then one morning, a body washed ashore. A former detective, lungs full of seawater, face peaceful, smiling. The case file listed no suspects. Only a note, written in salt-stained ink, tucked into his pocket. Even the ones who know the truth are not immune to the tide. Far beneath the surface, Evelyn swam on. Still beautiful, still deadly. No longer hunting men for desire or revenge, but for silence. Evelyn did not disappear after the detective's body washed ashore. She simply went deeper. Far below shipping lanes and sonar maps, beyond where light surrendered to pressure, there was a cathedral of coral and wreckage, known only in whispers among the old sea creatures. That was where Alara waited, listening, not to sound, but to longing. She had learned something important from living among humans. Envy was louder than desire. The first girl came to her in a dream. Her name was May, beautiful, overlooked, drowning in resentment inside a luxury apartment overlooking the same sea that had once made Evelyn rich. May watched Evelyn's old interviews obsessively, memorized her walk, her smile, her power. "I would do anything to be you," May whispered one night, staring at the ocean from her balcony. The water in her glass trembled. That was how Evelyn chose them. 4 women, all different, all burning with the same hunger. Not for love, but for control. May, the ignored socialite. Alinda, a model discarded by age and cruelty. Rose, married to a violent financier who owned judges. Ivy, a quiet assistant who knew too many secrets and had never been believed. Evelyn visited each of them not in flesh, but in reflection. Mirrors fogging, bathtubs filling on their own, dreams soaked in salt. "You want my life," Evelyn told them. "I will give you something better." The transformation did not happen in the sea. That was the most horrifying part. Each woman woke one night to the sound of rushing water inside her own home. Living rooms flooded without breaking windows. Carpets dissolved. Furniture floated as if the apartment itself had decided to drown. And when fear peaked, their legs fused. Skin hardened into iridescent scales. Lungs burned, then adapted. They could change at will. Human when they walked the city. Mermaid when they hunted. Evelyn taught them the rules. "You don't seduce," she said. "You invite. You don't drag them under. You let them choose the water." The prey were not random. Abusers. Traffickers. Men whose money buried crimes. Men whose smiles ended court cases. Each kill looked like an accident. Each body wore the same expression. Peaceful, grateful. Authorities noticed a pattern again, but this time it was too wide, too clean. Different cities. Different women seen last with the dead. No connections that survived scrutiny. Until something went wrong. May enjoyed it too much. She flooded her penthouse not for justice, but thrill, turning her living room into a private ocean, luring a married politician with promises instead of silence. She sang longer than necessary. Watched him panic before the calm took him. The sea felt it. So did Evelyn. That night, all 4 women were summoned. The water rose in their homes simultaneously, pulling them into a shared current that led back to the cathedral below. They knelt, tails coiled, eyes glowing faintly in the dark. "Evelyn," May said defiantly, "you made us this way." "I gave you power," Evelyn replied. Her voice echoed like a storm trapped underwater. Not permission. May never returned to the surface. The others understood then. This was not a sisterhood. It was a system. Years later, urban legends spread. About apartments that flooded without leaks, about women who smelled faintly of salt, about men who vanished after following someone into candlelit rooms with water already on the floor. And somewhere beneath it all, Evelyn watched. No longer seeking revenge. No longer seeking wealth. She had built something far more dangerous than a myth. A tide that could rise anywhere. A justice that wore desire as bait. A silence enforced by water. And the most terrifying truth? The ocean was still listening. And there were always more women staring out at it, wishing for a different life.